everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney, and today I have got a very fun and exciting video for you guys. And that is that we are that time of year where I have done the Secret Sewist fun thing with Love Notions, and I want to show you the pattern mashup that I've created. However, before we get into that, today is Friday, which means that we do have a Feature Friday pattern for Love Notions, and that is the Tranquil Pajamas. I have made these, I made them for my entire females on my side of the family. I made us all matching nightgowns. It's a wonderful pattern. It comes with a nightgown, it comes with a top and pants, with this beautiful like crossover. It's a really pretty pajama pattern. So if you are looking for Christmas gift ideas to give to people, they make up really easily. And again, fitting pajamas is pretty simple. And I've made the nightgown. I've not made the top and pants, but I've made quite a few of the nightgowns. My daughter has a couple of those. So $5 today only. Code Whitney10 gets you an additional 10% off that sale price. So, 50 cents is 50 cents. And it's a great bang for your buck for that price point. Okay, let's delve into today's video. So like I have done, I guess a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to show you the pattern that I made, and then I'm going to take you over to the cutting table. I'm not doing a sewing tutorial today, but I am going to show you how I mashed the two patterns together, how I cut things out. So I will be taking you over to the cutting table if you're interested in creating your own Sloan Frankie mashup. So I'll talk about the pattern here at the beginning, and then the end of the video, I will show you how I cut those out in order to create this version. Okay, so the past couple of years, I feel like, or maybe it's just last year, every year Love Notions does a Secret Sewist event for their ambassadors, which is really, really kind. They've mixed it up, like what that looks like, quite a few times, but we did it the same way last year. And basically what it was is that they drew names for everyone. So you had a person that you shopped for, and so everyone had a name. And we went on and we picked a couple of Love Notions patterns that we wanted them to make up, and that could be like mashing a couple together or just a particular pattern, and you could pick the views that you wanted them to sew. And then you went online to to one of their online shops that they shop from frequently. So we had to pick which ones that was, because obviously we are around the world, so that was different for different ambassadors. But then I went to my person's fabric store that they had picked some fabric or a couple of options that I thought suited them and their personality that would go well with the pattern I chose, and then turned that in. So as the receiver, then I got what my person had written for me, and they had said that they wanted me to make some mashups, combine at least two Love Notions patterns, and they gave me a lot of leeway. Like, they were pretty vague on exactly which patterns they wanted me to use, which was kind of fun and nice. And then they had selected 3 different fabrics for me to choose from, and then Love Notions bought my fabric, basically, which was a very kind gift from them. And they did that for all the ambassadors that participated, which was a really wonderful kind of end of year gift, as like a kind of a thank you and an appreciation, which was really kind. So then I got to buy the fabric that my person had picked for me, and then make up the garment. So today is the reveal of the garment I made. So like I mentioned, my person wanted me to combine a couple of patterns, and but again, pretty vague on whether that was even a top or a bottom or what that kind of meant. But they had picked 3 separate fabrics for me to kind of choose from, and 2 of those 3 were quilted knits. And I haven't worked a lot with quilted knits, and that was just kind of speaking to me. So I ordered the quilted knit. This is in the, I think it's Ocean is the color, from Style Maker Fabrics. And it's just really beautiful. It has minimal stretch. Like, it doesn't have a ton of stretch. It does have some vertical and horizontal stretch, but it isn't like super stretchy. So when it came, I knew I wanted to pick a pattern that I didn't need a ton of stretch for, something that was a little bit oversized. Also about this time that all of this was happening, I had just made the Allie Olson Hive pullover, and just really loving that cropped look on me. And by cropped, I mean like high hip. We don't do midriffs around here. least not for myself. My daughter does, I don't. But I really was enjoying that kind of silhouette on me. So as I was thinking about it, there were a couple of things that came into play. Number one, I'm obsessed with the collar on the new Frankie. I still haven't made the Frankie. We'll talk about that in a second. But I love the kind of Johnny collar that is on the Frankie and really wanted to mess around with that. And then I thought I should just hack the Sloan to make it more of a sweatshirt. So making myself basically a collared sweatshirt. I think that that's going to be a lot of fun. So that's what I did. I used the body of the Sloan and I shortened it by 4 inches. I have to shorten all my Love Notions patterns by 1 inch, and then just because of my proportions, but then I shortened this one an additional 3 inches to give it kind of the cropped look that I was wanting. And I came to that number by measuring the side seam of the hive and kind of what I was liking as far as that, and it turned out really, really well. So these are the sleeves from the Sloan. This is the body of the Sloan, and I literally just taped the pattern up. I didn't cut it or anything because I wanted to leave it as is. It's already altered for my body. So I just pulled it up the extra 3 inches, cut the body out. So the hem stayed the same. This is the same hem circumference of the longer sweatshirt because I wanted it a little boxy. Put the hemband on, and then instead of cutting the Sloan neckline, I cut the Frankie neckline, which was a really easy way to do that. And again, I'll show you at the cutting table how I did that. Now the Frankie can be made with a woven collar, or I mean you could use a knit collar, but you do interface the placket as well as the collar on the Frankie, even though it's a knit top. So I was looking through my scraps, and I came across this Liberty scrap. Actually, Jenny was here, and she was, I pulled out a few different Liberty scraps that I had, because you don't need much to do, just the collar and the placket. And we decided that this one looked the best with the fabric and was just really a lot of fun, and I'm so happy. So I used a woven for the neckline. It's nice and interfaced, so everything fits in really well. Now I have had questions about how to sew the collar into the Frankie. I decided I will show you guys how to do that. I'm gonna make an actual, like a full Frankie, I'm not gonna hack it, I'm just gonna make a full Frankie for my winter wardrobe. So when I make that version up, I will film the, how I put the collar in on that version. So when I show that shirt off, I'll have that tutorial at the end of that video. So if you've got the Frankie pattern, you're nervous about the neckline, I will have a tutorial for that out in a couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. And I'm going to be using the same knit fabric for that neckline, but you know, you fuse it with non-stretchy interfacing, and it basically turns it into a stable woven. So that's what I'll be doing for that one. But this is an actual woven, and the neckline gets finished off with bias tape. Here, I'll pull it up closer. So the neckline of this, well, I'll just show you here, gets finished off really beautifully with bias tape. And this is bias tape that came from my So Haley Jane box. I got that bias tape in one of my boxes that I got from her. It's from the Specky Seamstress, her little bias tape. So it's just really a lot of fun, really cute. But yeah, that's how that neckline gets finished off. And again, I'll do a tutorial on that when I make my actual Frankie. But guys, I am over the moon for how this turned out. So this is going into my winter wardrobe. Even though this is kind of a teal, I'm calling it like that dark blue that I'm using for my winter. This is going to get worn so much this winter, especially if we end up having a more milder winter like they're kind of calling for or predicting, because I don't have to put, it's more open-necked. So I think that it would be comfortable in more of a mild winter and just, you know, work fine. I mean, you could layer stuff over it or underneath it. But yeah, I think this is going to be a fantastic piece for me to have in my winter wardrobe this winter. I mean, I just can already tell that I'm going to wear this a ton. I've not worn it yet, only because I was waiting to film this video. I didn't want to get anything on it before I filmed this video. But excuse me, as soon as I am finished filming this, it's going right up into my closet. And I'm sure going right into rotation as soon as it gets up there. But I'm just so pleased with my contrast collar and my boxy kind of cropped sweatshirt style. I've made the Sloan a few times, and I think this might be my favorite. Really loving this. And I highly recommend this the Frankie, the neckline at least. You know, I haven't made the top yet, although I'm sure I'm going to love it too. But really love this neckline. So this has inspired me to get sewing on my actual Frankie in that kind of rust colored sweater net to get that into my wardrobe ASAP. So there you have it, guys. My Sloan and Frankie combination for basically the perfect sweatshirt for my winter. My perfect tailored sweatshirt for my winter capsule. I just want to thank, and I don't know yet who picked stuff for me. I don't know who my secret sewist was. So I just want to thank whoever that might be. I will know today because the reveal, Tessa and Tammy will be revealing that on the blog today. But I just want to thank my Secret Santa, if they're a secret sewist, if they're watching this, for picking such beautiful fabric and yeah, giving me some leeway to play around with hacking a couple patterns, because that's when it's fun to get creative and create something new. And I'm very pleased with this. So well done. Very exciting. Loved doing the process. Okay. Before I send you over to the cutting table to show you how I cut out this pattern, let's talk about December really quick. So this is December 1st when you're watching this. I am going to do Vlogmas. Obviously today is December 1st, so I don't have anything to show you today. And I'm filming this before December 1st. But I am going to be I'm going to be filming a week's worth of Vlogmas and putting those up on the rest of the Fridays throughout the month of December. So I did that last year where I just I vlogged every day, but then because a lot of times it wasn't very much each day. So then I compiled them into one longer video and then put those up once a week. So that's what I'm going to be doing in December. Those will be my Friday videos in December, the vlogs. And I think I'm going to be doing a lot of sewing in December. I need it for my mental health. Now that the shirt class has been released into the world, I have a breather month of, taking a little bit of a break to enjoy the holidays, to do some Christmas present sewing, and just do some creative sewing and just be in my sewing room. So that's probably what a lot of Vlogmas is going to be, in addition to, some of the festive holiday things that I get up to as well. But that's going to be a bulk of kind of what's going to happen on Vlogmas. And then Tuesdays are just going to be my regular videos, kind of the standard type of videos that are going, that go up normally. So, we're going to be talking about, the year in review. In January, we'll talk more about kind of year plans. We're going to be talking about, gosh, I have a lot of ideas for videos. I want to go through like my most worn coat patterns. We'll do a Destashify video in December. I just have a lot of things that I want to cover in December. Obviously there's only so many weeks in there, but yeah, we've got a lot of fun and exciting things here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Okay, that is all I have for today. I will send you over to the cutting table, show you how I cut out this pattern, and I will see you guys again on Tuesday. I hope you have a good weekend and get some sewing in, and I'll see you next time. All right, so I just want to walk you through really quickly how I cut this out and merged these two patterns together. So I have my Frankie front and back and my Sloan front and back. I don't have any fabric here because I've already cut them. In fact, I'm wearing it. I've already cut this out, but it's very simple. So what I did was I took laid my fabric out on the fold and lined up my Sloan on the fold. I actually had it folded up to make the body shorter. But place this on my fold, and then I cut, starting at the bottom, this was on the fold, cut up and around, cut my armhole, cut my shoulder point, and then stopped at my shoulder point. And then I took my Frankie front, matched it up on the fold as well, and matched the shoulder point. So I needed to keep this on the fold and brought this up until the front of the shoulder point of the Frankie matched the shoulder line of the Sloan. So the Sloan extends out past the Frankie, but that's okay. And then I moved that pattern piece, and then starting where I stopped with the Sloan shirt, I then cut the Frankie neckline. Okay? And I did the same thing on the back. I had my back and I cut my Sloan, the hem, the side seam, the armhole, the shoulder. And then I brought in my Frankie, put it on the fold, and just scooched it down until it hit the shoulder line of the Sloan and cut that neckline. So then that would keep the neckline. It makes the shoulder point a little shorter here at the front, but that's okay. You can go ahead and cut this because you'll be cutting that off, if that makes sense. So even though you've cut the whole line of the Sloan and that goes into the neck of the Frankie, it's okay because the Frankie is actually outside of that. So you'll actually be cutting that part off when you cut out the Frankie. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense. And then I just used all the neck pieces of the Frankie because I had the Frankie neckline on my Sloan. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, leave me any questions you have below, and I am happy to answer those.